Good afternoon. I'm here today to decide which sight to mount on my Canik TP9SFX. We're going to figure out a sight to put on it. I know one that I want to use. I have a Sig Romeo 3 in graphite that I think would look really nice on top of that. But we'll see if we can get the sight base to work with it or not. So on the Canik, you have multiple sight bases. Okay. Alright, so on the Romeo 3, sight base 3 works. Alright, it overhangs a bit, so I need to take the cover off and make sure that it will overhang the slide and the slide won't interfere with the sight. So give me a minute and I'll take that off. See, the sight comes off with the cover. Now, what I'm going to do is, let's put sight base 3 on, and it's not going to work. You can see there's a lip right there in the front. So the sight will not fit down tightly on that. You can see there's space there. Okay, so that means I need to machine me out a base specifically for this sight. Let me try my Romeo 1 and see if I can come up with a sight base for it. But so now sight base 1 will fit into the weapon like this, and it will line up like that now. So I will go ahead and put this together and then come back and... Alright, I'm back. I've got the Sig Romeo 1 sight mounted to the Canik TP9SFX. You can see here I had to mill the sight base down. I had to get rid of the tabs on it, and I'll tell you what I did. Alright, so the original cover that came with the rear sight that was on the gun had 2 set screws with it. So these 2 machine screws happen to be the ones that I used to install the sight into the sight base. Now, the Canik also came with 2 additional screws for the base. So what I did was I used the extra screws that came for the base to mount the base on the pistol. I used the 2 screws that came with the cover to mount the sight to the base. Now, what I did was I took this and put it on my mill, and I basically cut these tabs off of the sight base that I used. I used a sight base 1, and I machined off the tabs that are designed to hold the sight square with the base. Now, one nice thing about this is, even though this is an aluminum base, if you look in here, all of your machine screw holes that are threaded have basically helicoils in them. So they have steel inserts in the sight base where, you know, they're overcut and tapped, and steel threads are threaded in to help extend the life of the sight base. So as long as you don't over torque the mounting screws, they should really last a long time. You can take the screws out and put them back in repeated times without wearing your threads out, stressing your threads, or breaking your threads off. So that's a pretty good feature. Here's one thing I want to point out to you, is that you have 2 locking washers that come with this setup, and these locking washers fit down into your sight base before you assemble the sight base onto the slide, because these 2 locking will help hold those machine screws in place, even though you need to use Loctite. Now, you can see here that the sight looks pretty good on the gun. Alright, the only bad thing about this setup is I need a new front sight. Because this Romeo 1 sight is able to co-witness, see, you can see there's a dovetail in the back for the rear sight, but it is 50 thousandths of an inch too high for the front sight. So I need another sight to be able to co-witness that rear sight correctly. It's a black sight with a black base, so it kind of gives it that, you know, that contrast. Alright, so it looks good. See if you can see the dot in here. Alright, so let's turn the dot up. Alright, there you go. Alright, so it's a nice setup. I'm going to go ahead and get it zeroed in and function test it on the gun and see how it performs. So that's basically how I got the Sig Romeo 1 sight on the Canik TP9 pistol. So that's the end of part 1. Part 2 of this series will be shooting the Canik and testing out this Sig Romeo sight on it. And I'll do some live fire exercises with it to see how easy it is to pick up that dot in the sight and handle the TP9 with the red dot sight on it. So I hope you come back and watch that video. Thank you very much.